I have is, what if they decided not to send the other three home because they used the brick?
It's a good. Well, I mean, they won the thing, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but how much did that play into them deciding that they were going to win?
I saw
they're
you
immune anyway.
I don't know if they did.
I keep coming back for more. I don't know why.
I'm not the only one here. What'd you guys think? Man, he's like, I don't know.
Come on, Maddie.
Are we live? Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, we're live.
Well, I think we just watched an hour of a Lego competition that had no bearing on the rest of the competition whatsoever.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I would love to know if they were, but pretty much said you've got to give up the brick. I mean, you're coming down to the fact that if they eliminated somebody, you could use the golden brick next week to make it into the final two. So they weren't going to let them do that. And I remember that from last season. So I got a feeling they were, because that's why he said it would be a baller move if we didn't use it. That would mean it would just not get used. So, but so they used it, they won, but then they didn't send anybody home. And anyway, it meant nothing.
They're setting them up so they can kick them off next week.
I understand.
I don't know about that.
I think it's going to be hard to shove them out the door with their castle building skills.
Ooh.
Well, it's
The
kind
next
of like
week's
this week.
show.
Did they not send somebody home because they're doing home improvement and it's DIY?
Well, I mean, the most exciting. Well, I mean, I enjoyed the episode. Don't get me wrong, but
Doesn't sound like it.
well, I mean, I got all worked up, and I'm like, come on, everybody had a good time, and all teams had fun. I just sent somebody home, but
Who would you have sent home?
Yeah, the big question I would say
I
is
figured
who
the girls
would
were going to
send
go.
home,
The
right?
girls.
Oh, it's I think it was a toss up between Caleb and Jacob and Natalie and Michelle.
So can we just talk about how mad Wayne and Zach were
Yeah.
when the Ericksons won?
Yeah. Yeah, they were livid. You could tell.
They
I
liked
mean,
their
come on,
idea.
pixelation. You're gonna. It's a house. What do you want? It's not supposed to be big.
well,
Yeah, but I didn't like the way it looked. I don't even think it looked like a pig. Okay, it was pink, but that face was.
it looked like a cow.
Ugh.
Are you thinking there was some lipstick applied?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gee, I
When
guess
they were
you-
I'm
voting,
sorry,
they
I had to do that.
The one brother
It's
didn't know
upset.
whether it was the head or the butt.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I mean, their emotion was amazing. The build and the brick placement was amateur hour. It looked a little bit to me, but they didn't have a lot of time. I get it, and they put a lot of motion in it.
But their motion was the same as their dragon build.
I said that too.
You know what?
I
It's
just
the
didn't say it
same,
here. I
like,
said it there.
it's the same. It's the same concept.
Maybe that's why they gigged him a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell us.
Do you think that Zach and Wayne may have had the bottom design and they kept them for that reason?
That's interesting. I will say this: are we at the point? We definitely have to be at the point of the body of work over today's build.
Yeah, and I think even if they'd kicked somebody off tonight, they wouldn't have sent home Zach and Wayne because even though their pig was gross, that motion, even though they've used it before, the motion was better than anyone else's. So
That's what
swine.
That's what I was. Yeah, I don't think it would have been Stephen and Mark, and I don't think it would have been Zach and Wayne. I think it would have been one of the other two, Caleb, Jacob, and Natalie and Michelle.
You know all their names. Good for you.
It's getting down to only a few teams. I've got it down now.
4 teams left.
Stevens voice? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
the Erickson boys. That's what I said.
He breaks Bunny's TV.
What's up, Canadians?
Can I just say one thing that drives me nuts is they always get onto the team that gets like gray or tan. You should have put more color in the build. You gave them tan, and they had to build with tan. What do you expect is going to happen with tan? Add a little brown. And, I don't get it.
Yeah, that was a weird comment.
Purples go great with tan. Just saying.
Could have gone black.
I was
So,
hoping
Chris,
that
you want me to
volcano
Space
was
House, right?
gonna explode. But it didn't.
Yeah. A little rocket shooting out of the top of it and things orbiting around. That'd have been easy.
And Tim would have made Legarado. Jesse would have built a frog.
A frog house.
Matt would have made a whole bunch of painted ladies.
Painted ladies with motion, though.
There you go. Jeff would have made cyberpunk house.
I think I would have made a, that.
Oh my
Maddie
God,
would
it's a
have made big old
talking
cat
tuk-tuk.
butt. Rich would have made a new house.
Yeah, maybe.
You
Actually, I was thinking that if you had the roof fold out like that on both sides, could have made wings.
Mm.
Then you
Yep.
could have something projecting out the front as a cockpit. Something.
You guys heard as much as I did, right? That would be really cool.
All about wings. Something about chicken wings.
Chicken
I could eat.
wings.
What would have been really cool is if someone had kept the house, but then made it so like there was a monster's head coming out the front and the tail coming out the back and like wings coming through the walls. So it's almost like a dragon was like bursting out and then have the wings move.
Maybe
That
that was
is
one of the
Alice in
requirements, was that
Wonderland.
they weren't allowed to do that. Because we didn't see it.
I don't know. It seems like they make up the requirements. as
They
go
wanted
along.
them to be extreme.
Oh, I noticed that too. And I almost lost my sleeves almost ran away when they saw his arms. No? Okay. You guys tired too, huh? Cool. I
Yeah,
didn't
the,
add money
the
on.
arm, the sleeve bit got old like 10 seconds into it, so it's like, come on.
You know what they needed? They need Jamie to rip off his sleeves. Now, I would have fallen over laughing if that had happened. Like, that would have been awful.
Oh, look at there!
You got the puke bucket handy?
Yeah, no, there's not so much pukage. If I just happen to fall asleep on you guys, you'll understand why. But yeah, no. After chit chatting with Chris during the episode, I'm like, oh no, I got too much to say, not to come on. Why do I deserve you? Are you trying to see how
Say it.
jaundiced I look?
I don't know what's going on with you.
I got some weird cold flu thing. It's not COVID because I'm not like totally out.
That is literally walking around my whole house right now.
Maybe it's syphilis.
No,
No, we don't have syphilis.
no.
Not mono.
Oh, it could
I
be
thought I
mono.
had mono once, and then I found out I was just really, really bored. So
It could be chlamydia.
it's possible.
The clap.
Oh man, a WebMD right here.
Oh yeah, no, nothing better than going to your friends when you don't feel good to have them diagnose you with like the plague.
All of it.
So
No, you just had a lot. You say you have a lot to say about it. I want to hear every word because the rest of us are like, "Yep, we're here. It was a show."
really,
Nothing happened.
well, I mean, first and foremost, I got to call out, and I'm waiting for Steven or Mark to show up to confirm or deny this, or maybe I'll have to poke them in the side next time I'm down in Atlantic Brick Company. But I'm pretty sure that they were asked, are they going to turn in the golden brick? Because they had no reason to turn it in whatsoever. So that's the first and foremost.
They did have a reason. It's called editing.
No. Those guys are such solid builders, and I don't think that the executives or the producers wanted them to have the golden brick going into the final challenge, and so it just felt like they were. I pretty much think that they were told, "You guys, we're going to ask you, and you're going to say yes. You have no choice. You're going to say
they're never going to tell us whether or not that's true or not.
Well, we might get it in behind the scenes, hush hush. They'll never admit it, but I feel that is exactly what happened in that because they had no reason to turn it in.
I feel what you're saying there.
Not only that, they won the challenge. I mean, who turns in the golden brick when they think they're not going to win the challenge? And then they win the challenge.
Think about
They said that they didn't feel like they were going to win.
Well, the editing made it seem like that they weren't going to win, but honestly, I think they knew in their hearts what they had was better than everyone else's, and I feel like that they made them give it up.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think like according to last season, you could not take the golden brick to get you into the final two, and had someone gone home today, the brick would have got them into the final two. So this was the last episode it could be used. We just didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
So that's why they said it'd be a baller move if we didn't use it. That's so they would go, we just kept it the whole time.
Yeah.
So they used it. So
Now, granted, that being said, major twist that nobody went home this episode versus the next episode. Because that was my guess, is that we were sending somebody home this week, and then next week we would get the bye week.
That's what I went back and watched last year to see because I couldn't remember the order. But yeah, they really changed it up. But they're adding 2 episodes this year. There was only 10 last season, so this season there must 12 because they just tonight was 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 12 of them, so they had to. But,
They're extending it for all the people who missed it when they kept jerking the schedule around.
Yeah, through the Olympics and the National League or the All-Star Game, just making things weird.
The golf.
So did we talk? I chimed in late, but can we talk about everybody's builds? Like go through the whole list.
Let me say something. Yes, I want to definitely talk about that, but I want to say this real quick. Back to editing real quick. Okay, so real quick, this is what I'm thinking real quick.
Real quick.
The way the editing worked, it looked as if Zach and Wayne were going to win and the other 3 were not. That's my opinion. Fight me, I don't care. No, Chris says hell no.
Well, I mean, I say the editing was telegraphing that along, but let's talk about their build first, because while and not being an experienced Technic boost kind of guy, which that is something I need to really start working on in my stuff, in my repertoire of skills for sure. Matter of fact, when we were interviewing to go on Lego Masters, I actually bought the boost set specifically so I would make myself get better at it because it's one of my lacking skills as far as Lego goes. But that being said, talking about Zach and Wayne's build from a power function, the flapping of the wings, fantastic, freaking-tastic. But again, just like Jamie said, it was a box. It was a box with wings. If they had sculpted that thing to give it some curve to it, maybe some udders hanging down the bottom, I think that would have sealed the deal for them. But again, it was they really left the house as a house and threw wings and a snout on the front of it. They could have done better. Thoughts?
I thought somebody should have turned their house upside down when he was like, flip my block and do one of the upside down.
That would have been extreme.
That would have been
okay. So as far as the big house goes,
everything upside down.
As far as the big house goes, I think that it's number one. It's a house, and you dress. Real world examples. You start with a house, and you still have a house, and you add things to it to make it sort of reminiscent of the thing you're talking about.
So maybe what you're saying is like if it had been a rounded pig with a house on top.
No. I think that there's a person who bought a house, added wings, and a face, and a butt, and some fans on the top. And that's perfectly normal as far as a flying house thing goes.
I don't know. I'm not trying to armchair Jamie in his critique here, but again, it still felt like, you had all this going on, and you just could have given it a little extra more. Something to make it seem less fun.
I think the look of making the house more of a pig and not more of a house does not do it for me.
Well, but think about this, Rich. If you're saying that you're making a flying pig into a house, don't you want that house to be more like a pig than a house?
No, you're making a house into a flying pig. It's the other way.
All right. Let's just agree to disagree.
I'm gonna tell you, I've eaten the meaning of pig, and I ain't never seen one square like that. I'm just gonna say it right now.
I just like to thank you guys for the 2021 pig house debate. This will go down in history as one of the greatest Lego discussions on the planet. Thank you.
That's house pig. That's house pig, not pig house.
Man, bear, pig.
True. So, all right. So let's move on to Natalie and Michelle. They definitely were telegraphed throughout the episode as having the most concern, the most troubles, the most challenges. But in the end, I liked their build. I mean, from an aesthetic perspective, I think it looked really good. I loved the hair for the cotton candy. I think they did a bang up job for the NPU. Love the fact that the episode just used NPU and actually introduced people to that. That was just hysterical in general. But their movement, it killed them. They just really didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't challenge themselves.
Or did it? Because if they had done that week one, it would have been amazing.
But again, this is not week one.
Right.
Yeah, but they had to sit there and goof with it to get it going. They didn't flip the switch and it started. They had to, that fell off and everything. And I don't know. I don't know if there was a time limit to get everything spun up or whatever, but nobody else had to fiddle with it. I mean, they hit the button and it started. So
that's a southern
negative
right there. They didn't have to fiddle with it.
Yeah, they really made it look like they were going home.
I mean, they were my prediction to go home this week.
Yeah.
And I told jokingly with Chris, I'm like, unless the twins totally boned it, the girls were going home. They just
a snake volcano.
Well, like a snake volcano. And the funny thing was that I was saying like, oh yeah, no, they're going home, and then all of a sudden they bring down the snake volcano. I'm like, well, maybe the boys are going home because their NPU was not really great. And again, like if you're going to do a ski lift with no chair, don't even do the ski lift.
That was a big negative. You promised ski lift and you got a light pole with a wire on it. I mean, that's what it was. Yeah, so that was a fail.
I want to know what you would have done with the snakes, Dana.
That's a good question, Dana.
Don't ever ask him. We don't talk about that in public. What he does with snakes. Yeah,
actually, what I think I would have done with the snakes is I would have turned them in. I would have used 1x1 tiles with clips on Travis bricks and turned them into tree leaves, kind of thing, and just have these red trees with all these snakes as the leaves and stuff like that. That's the first thing off the top of my head as I would have done with them. So now, granted, there would have been some illegal part usage because they would not have been quite vertical.
Oh, there we are.
And here they are.
Losers who just give out bricks.
Here you guys.
Be
One
prepared,
job,
guys.
There we go.
brick.
Guys.
Lord help
Wow,
you.
one of you is a whole lot bigger than the other one.
It's all about perspective, Chris. You should know that anytime you're photoing something.
Is that it?
I see Steven fell into the trap of the bad lighting at Mark's house. Good job.
No, I'm in Mark's room. I could wash this out a little bit here. Hold on. There you go. A little brighter.
A little better.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
All right, so now that you guys are joined in, you got to let us at least finish our pre Mark and Steven introduction so that we can finish going through the build. So we talked about Zach and Wayne. We talked about Natalie and Michelle. We hit a little bit on the twins. Do we have anything more to say about the twins before we go on to talking about that monstrosity of a haunted house?
Yeah, they still just freak me out a lot.
The snakes.
Say, those twins can throw down some brick and make a rock or a natural whatever like nobody's business. Okay, I'm just going to say that they're like the computer modeling program, but it's just them two dudes, right? So just saying.
I was impressed with their mountainside and how quickly they put that together. Now, granted, the filming and the timing, you never know what you do and what you don't see, but I think the NPU is what hurt them the most, and not getting any an actual ski lift that had something on it was the other hit for them. But again, you know what?
Yeah, I thought it showed the volcano where it was supposed to like explode.
And snakes coming out. Yeah. So there was definitely some challenges going on there. All right, so let's talk about
both things.
What's that, Rich?
I think that was both things. I think it was a 1-2 punch. The cable car didn't work. The cable car on it, and the way the snakes were used.
Yeah. So it was challenges for both of them and Natalie Michelle. Zach and Wayne looking like a box, even though the wings look great. So let's talk about the haunted house. Even though it's horrible to have to critique people while they're in the room.
No, do it anyway.
It's not gonna come back.
It is called.
No, we're fine with it.
I mean,
They're
it is
just
called
going
Lego
to
Masters and
console
not Lego
themselves with
Half-Assers.
their win.
No, go ahead.
The comment that I've mentioned it before, the comment that was aggravating towards you guys was you got a tan house and you got complained about that it didn't have color in it. I'm like, they gave him a tan house. What do you want?
Well, actually, they picked a tan house, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're just tempting fate then. Good job, boys.
Yeah. So, and this again is an editing thing, and you guys are jumping in a little behind us, and we already talked about, and we'll get to the conspiracy theory on the golden brick, but it was cool, the animation they showed for you guys, and that they took the time to do that, which was really cool. But that's really where we got to see the house, because we didn't get to see the model itself. We only got to see it during their animation of it, which in that perspective, it was really cool because, you know, seeing the ghost spinning through the window and everything going on.
Touch on that, Dana, before you move on. I have a bone to pick with these boys.
I'm not surprised that you do.
So I really dig the ghosts in the window, but what really aggravated me was that stupid wheel that you could see that they were spinning on. Why couldn't you put anything? Give me the tea.
Okay. We love the top and go, right? But the wheel was so what we did, we had those red light bricks, right? We had like 3 or 4 of them stacked right in front of the ghosts. So you could only see the ghost spinning. Behind it was just black.
They lit it up with what looks like an atomic bomb of LEDs. It's on a black background, and when you're looking through the window, all you see is a vague red light, and you see 3 colorful ghosts spinning on a black background.
They were neon. They were neon ghosts, and in person it was.
We have a lot of problems with the editing of this show, so we'll go over that in a second.
You guys keep going.
I have a question. I have a question for you two specifically, because the other people aren't here. So these guys are cowards, and they won't ask you on camera during the live. How much bullshit was it that you guys had to turn in the golden brick, and how wasn't it?
Jeff, don't steal my thunder, because that is exactly what the first question I asked was. We're going to ask these guys about the golden brick, because I said the very first thing was, and I will tell them. You know, I would tell them. What BS was that?
Take it away, bro.
So it's actually total BS because
only in the editing though.
Like the previous season of Lego Masters, this is the last chance we were allowed to use the golden brick out of play permanently.
They told us that.
That's
a
what
long time ago.
We asked multiple producers multiple times, "Are you sure we can't save the golden brick any longer?" They're like, "Yes, you have to use it now."
You have to use it.
And so we're like, "Okay, we'll use it." Right. And in fact, we were so confident about our build, we said we would just let you take it from us and not even play it. So that's why we're saying it would be a total baller move to not use it. But yeah, why not? We'll use it.
That's what I thought.
So we're here to set the record straight.
We were told to use it. We had no say in the matter.
This episode is pretty misconstrued, and we're not happy about it. We'll be sending emails to somebody. So.
We had no choice.
Your complaint has been noted.
Yes.
Totally saw that because it just looked. I was like, no way, those guys were going to turn the brick in, and I'm like, I guarantee that there were producers coming to them telling them flat out.
A long time ago, Dana. A long time ago. Here's your deadline. Now you got the brick. Here's your deadline. A long time ago, they told us that.
But at this point in time, you guys are still the longest running brick holders, so you guys get that.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't like how they didn't mention that. It's like they did in the first season. Why wouldn't they in the second season? It's like they're making us look like we're weak.
No. I think they're trying to downplay the favoritism that's going on. No, it's just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah. They definitely would want to favor two basic white guys. I mean, yeah.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, plus the twins are not really camera friendly, and you two are good looking fellas. So I mean, why not? You know,
appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I think they wanted to
compared to the twins.
I think you guys have been on a runaway streak, and I think that if they had kind of glorified the fact that you guys had held onto the brick so long, it may have, downplayed some of the other builders. So it was probably best that they didn't bring it up.
So I'm not keeping up with you boys. How many wins have y'all had?
This is our third. Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
But you guys have been in the top two. How many times?
Several. It would have been 5. I don't remember.
At least half of the challenges, I think you guys have been in the top 2.
That's an exaggeration. I think it's a little less than that. I'd say
I'm waiting on your mom to post because I bet she knows.
we were in episode 6 for a second. Oh, the cars. Yeah, episode 6. Yeah, the cars. So
yeah. Oh, that's
they might do that.
Yeah. Although how sweating were Zach and Wayne that they didn't win that challenge, because they seemed very confident.
Yeah,
it's hard to say. We weren't really paying attention. We were actually really stressed out this build. This one was a lot of work. It was a tall order.
Well, lots of motion, which is not easy.
It was a lot of motion. I wasn't actually paying attention to Zach and Wayne. They seemed okay.
Oh.
But like when you get to the judging level, I mean, do people kind of show, or are they just playing their poker face by that point in time?
We all kind of play.
Well, so I think that when it came to Zach and Wayne's judging, they actually like Zach and Wayne's build, but to what they covered in the show was what they blocky, especially around the details. And I think one of the things that they didn't really cover in the show is it's not a house. So it's a flying pig. It's not necessarily a house.
You're a flying pig, Steven.
It was a fabulous flying pig, but it was a boxy flying pig. But again, if you're going to go flying pig, then make it a flying pig with a house on top of it, kind of
like that.
World on a turtle or something like that.
Zach and Wayne were going to win that competition when pigs fly.
So Peter, you're saying that it should have had more house properties and less a pig to make it more of a house pig instead of a pig house. The lines were too blurred. It was not a pig house or a house pig. It was something in the between.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you, Rich, but you're in the right ballpark. that it needed to be more defined one way or the other. And because if you're gonna go pig, go all. It's like saying, don't go full retard. You kind of got to go one way or the other. Kind of feelings.
Okay.
Small Tropic Thunder reference there, if you're not aware. But yeah.
Damn, Dana.
Real quick, Amy and Jamie were a lot more complimentary. They really liked the motion. We had a lot of NPU, like a lot of part usage. The guitar pick, the organ, the fence, the teeth. There was the sunglasses. We had little skeleton heads all around the roof that had sunglasses that looked like googly eyes with the coffee cup. Yeah, we had a bunch of stuff. Everyone else had maybe.
But again, that's the same complaint we've had all season long, is that we don't get enough of the build. It's just it's like a flyby, and if you catch it, cool. If you try to pause, no, there's not enough you can try.
Let me chime in here real quick. Out of an hour-long show, 45 minutes was building and editing, and 15 minutes was showing and judging.
Don't forget the 15 minutes of using the word extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great. Thank
And
you.
again, I know we've beaten this to a dead horse that the Australian show is at least another half an hour long, where we actually get to enjoy and see the build more, so that our AFOL geekdom can enjoy and geek out on the techniques and stuff like that. Because, Stephen, a lot of the things that you just mentioned, I didn't even see.
I saw him, but it was like, oh, that
It was like
quick.
it was a blip. I mean, the teeth and the fence were the only things I remember seeing, because they at least focused on them for at least a half a second.
Mhm.
So again, my complaint across all the builds is that we don't really get to see all the details that fly by too quickly.
Yeah, we weren't happy with how that episode was edited at all. I mean, overall, we've been like okay with it because we understand the constraints that they're under.
Yeah.
But this one was kind of like they specifically withheld several things, and they didn't present several builds in the light that they were when we were actually there. So
Right.
I'm not happy with that at all.
So what is y'all's I can't even, never mind.
We've reached that point where Julian has forgotten how to speak.
Mark, are you feeling okay? You're looking a little rough, honest to God.
Oh, I'm tired. No
Okay.
no mistake. I'm very tired. I've been working very hard the past couple days.
Steven looks like he's 12. It's fine.
I don't feel like it. Look what I got the other day. You little burn on your arm.
Oh, you burned yourself. I
Yeah.
told you got to quit doing that and just write books and whatnot.
So, Mark, I do have to apologize that while I was down at Land Bird Company on Thursday, I actually made you work. I apologize for that. I felt, although the expression in your face when I told you to bring down the Grand Emporium for me, that was classic, though. You're like, what?
Wait, Steven's busy welding all day, but Mark's the one who looks tired.
You know,
one is burnt, one is tired. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, in fact, I have to go to bed very soon. By the way,
Hey, I have a question about when the judging was happening. When the girls were struggling to get their motion working, was there like a little time constraint for them to get it going? Was it actually a big deal like that? Because it looked like it was about to fall apart on them. I don't know if that was editing or what. So
That was pretty accurate. They got it to work for a little bit, but then it fell apart again before they were done talking about it. So
kept smacking into each other for some reason.
The alignment wasn't right. It just, and I think it's kind of like one of those Mark and Boone, their roller coaster, like derailing as they're moving it over. It's like once they got it out there, it just didn't run like it was on the table. So.
But one thing, it could have been buffering software. The app was pretty bad, so this is colorful.
I actually need that wallpaper.
Yes,
as
Ron, I'll send it to you.
I need that pattern as a Hawaiian shirt.
Amen.
And I think Mark and Steven would agree that they would wear that shirt too, because I've been loving the fact that the shirts you guys have been wearing have been hysterical all the time. The NASA shirt that Steven was wearing, I actually sent that picture to Mark to Chris one day. I'm like, look at this NASA shirt, and there you were wearing it on the show.
Yeah.
So, and Chris and I were talking about this during we were chatting during the show. What is this, like an obstacle course to get to the gallery? I mean, how is it that you guys bumped into something? Zach and Wayne bumped into something.
Get a broom. I mean
yeah.
The curlers, like the brooms that the curlers have, they need those walking in front of them while they're
We
moving.
got brooms this season.
Anyway, the reason our build was falling apart on the way over is because our table vibrated more than an old dryer.
Yeah. That's wrong with one wheel.
No, it wasn't one wheel because we lifted it on two wheels and it still did it on both sides.
So you had two bad shopping cart wheels at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like the whole table would literally go as it's rolling slowly.
Oh my god!
So we actually didn't really show it in the cut, but we picked up our table and just carried it along.
The entire time.
After it fell, we picked it up and literally lifted the table about 4 inches off the ground and carried it the rest of the way.
Carried it.
Yeah, we built big mocks
because we're like, what? It's like
That is extreme. That's extreme. Carrying
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's extreme.
Oh, hey, Mark,
I got almond juices for it too. I was like, you couldn't even get us the table on a roll. I don't know about that, but I think they were just negligent. Yeah.
That's hysterical, though. I mean, maybe that's the key for any future Lego Masters is make sure how your table's rolling before you pick it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually really smart. Check your data.
Yeah, because maybe there's some weird behind the scenes executive producers like, let's give them rickety wheels and see how they do. We
won't make any claims on that. Well, I do know that we checked all our tables after that.
You mean you boys ain't been to Piggly Wiggly and checked out your buggies before you scooted them around the store? You got to pick the one that's smooth, or you might as well not shop. I'm just saying.
Well, when you're only down to 4 buggies, though, you don't really have a whole lot of time to check the buggy. But
get that wiggly front left wheel going like that, man. It's not good.
What did Maddie say?
What's a buggy?
It is a shopping cart.
Well, she could have asked what's a Piggly Wiggly.
I know what a Piggly Wiggly is.
No, she don't know what a buggy is, y'all.
That's what we call a shopping cart here. It's a buggy.
Yeah, that cart.
A Piggly Wiggly is what Zach and Wayne built.
Did you know that the first grocery store, the longest running first grocery store in the history of grocery stores, is a Piggly Wiggly? That was the first grocery store. We need that. We need that splash now. The more you know going on right now.
Mark,
Dana, I gotta ask
Steven, Mark.
Yes.
Dana, how much stimulant is in that cough syrup you're taking? Because you're like wired.
I don't know. I've had like 2 days of not being able to talk much, so it's kind of like all coming out at once.
Steven, Mark, Steven. We'll say this. You guys are not allowed to come back with your mom.
Oh,
Mom live. We need
as
her
great
on
as
camera.
You guys are. I can only imagine Mom is better.
I am glad you joined us in the chat, though. That's
any last minute questions though, because I do have to run, and I do want.
I got one. So I know that Stephen, we talked to you last week on this show, and then I got to chat with Mark on Wednesday at Atlanta Bird Company.
Oh, that's right. Mark big timed us last week.
Yes, he did. But so I had prophesized that they were going to do that. Somebody was going home this week, and then we were going to get a bye week where nobody went home for the 11th show, and then it was all 3 contestants again for the finale. And they did a plot twist on us and didn't send anybody home this week. Mm-hmm. What were you guys thinking on the set? Were you thinking the same thing that I was, or was this plot twist of nobody going home this week? How did that work out for you guys?
It was fine.
Not that you guys were going home anyway, but from everybody else, the feel of everybody else at the same time.
I think it was a little surprised because we were kind of expecting it to be more like season 1, but it's.
We'll arrange something later.
You get your own webcam and you come on separate from the board.
Get your mom.
We'll figure something out.
Don't you worry.
Figure something out. We'll talk.
Anyway, so we were confused by that, but at the same time, we were also happy that no one was going home because it's getting sadder and sadder and sadder as it goes along. So
yeah, we were just glad we didn't have to say goodbye again.
Yeah. But it is interesting. There's elimination right before the finale. I guess it's no longer a 2 finale, thing.
Yeah.
There's an episode elimination before the finale. So.
Spoilers! You boys in trouble now. Lego's gonna.
Well, that's what's happening. They said it. So
okay.
Yeah. That was in the commercial.
All right. So if we're going to talk about Steven, I know you got to go to bed, but all I can say is that when they flashed up what was going to be next week's episode, I was like, could you not have given them the more perfect thing to try and build? I mean, it's
coffee cups.
I mean, have they not seen this yet? After the fact, but it's all about freaking castles.
Without talking about it for you.
I really hope the twist is that Jamie knows your skis and is like, you got to use next to night parks and just unloads a garbage truck full of
blue and neon orange and say, all right, Mark and Steven, go.
It's castle, but with a twist. You have to have space with it too.
I don't know. Did you guys see Mark's face as he's walking in? By the way, just how like,
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah.
like great heart going into a battlefield.
Oh yeah, I mean, talk about the total monster truck energy going on between just your face. Like, yeah, we got this. This is our home game.
So I can only assume what you guys are talking about. But wouldn't it be the biggest MFer in the whole wide world if this is the episode Mark and Steven go home on? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I will
you
build
gonna
a pink castle if that happens.
You're going to do what?
I will build a bigger pink castle than Julian has
No.
if Mark and Steven go home during Castle Challenge.
That's all right. Boone put together a blue one in about half a day. That's
Oh, I know. And using
God,
2x4 bricks as the base. Come on.
I can't deal. Like
Yeah.
everybody's just like, you know what, dude? You suck at castles. Why do you bother?
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
But yeah, now's the time when I go to bed is when all the
That is.
speculation
You
comes
need to
out.
go.
But Rich, I've got this on my wrist, working great.
It does. It does look good.
Finally. Oh, sorry, what was that?
It's looking good.
Yep, I love
Good.
it, man. It's
I
finally got the
still
one.
have not received anything in the mail.
It is in the mail right now. I set it off just
Woo!
so yeah.
Then
It's,
give him a
long way.
tracking number.
No,
Hey,
it's
Lego doesn't give me a tracking number on Bricks and Pieces, so it's all right if Steven doesn't give one to you. It's all right.
Whatever.
all right. Hey, it's just a package. You'll see. But yeah, I set it off. It is on the way. So I do not have it. So, yeah, cool.
Okay.
Well, thank you,
awesome.
boys. Enjoy
That's
yours
really
on the live stream.
Yeah, oh, Marco, stick around, but I'm going to bed. So
Oh,
I'll
it's
see
like
you guys.
that.
Hi,
Thanks,
Steven.
Steven.
Bye,
Good night.
Steven.
Bye.
Yep. Enjoy the show.
Now you're all alone.
We are separating you from your team.
Now that he's gone,
Let me
You can
tell
get
how
Mama
really
on
felt.
now.
Now just tell us how you drug his rear end through that competition. You know, he's the dead weight on the team.
we were both exhausted. We were both dead meat at that point. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
so-
now I need to do a tracking number. I believe Mom.
Yeah.
So how soon? I mean, I don't know if you can talk about it or not. How soon after the last challenge were y'all starting this one that you just did?
Each episode is right next to the next one. So basically, it was probably the day before they were working on the last challenge. So there's very little time between each episode of the word. Yeah,
Mark,
probably less than 20 hours.
Mark, do you and your family and friends have a screening every Tuesday night? Do you guys all get together and hang out and watch?
Sometimes Steven and I can't make it to all of them, but usually there's some sort of screening going on. So, and more often than not, Steven and I are just watching it at home with our family. So.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
Y'all have like popcorn and throw things at the TV like you're watching a sporting event or anything like that? I mean,
Not too bad. We don't want to damage our TV, but yeah. So
Right.
we have
They're
fun.
Lego Masters money.
Do you ever boo at the TV? You're like, boo.
Sometimes I have to explain things. Like this last episode, I was explaining a lot to everyone because it's like, okay, first of all, you needed 4 different types of motion in your build, minimum.
Oh,
And like,
Oh,
that, and it wasn't, they misconstrued a lot in this episode. I'm not happy with it. So
so you had to have 4.
Mhm. minimum. Otherwise, you were instantly at risk of elimination. They told us that. I don't know why they cut it out. So
It didn't seem to me that everybody had 4.
Yeah, the girls, I don't
Yeah.
think, did they have 4?
they
Yeah,
had they had more than 4 different things moving, but it wasn't a
They had-
different type of motion.
Well, and that's
Oh,
just it. They
yeah.
didn't specify what type of motion. Just had to be 4 different motion.
They had the 2 lights, the big top, and the Barker spinning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, they should have put him on a pole as he was holding on. That bitch was going fast. I thought it was.
So what about Jacob and Caleb? That only looked like 3.
They actually didn't show their garage door opening and the lights turning on in sequence. That was a really nice motion. They didn't even show it, I don't think, which is
Wow.
Did you ever see
Okay.
the snakes explode out the top like they said they were going to do?
their thing totally worked. It actually exploded and knocked over a tree in the skiing area.
Why the hell did they show it to us?
It looked great, and the judges thought it was great. and
They had
it's
to
like,
cut it out so they could get more Will Arnett jokes.
Oh,
there.
right, his arm.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
yeah, they had I don't know how many, 6 of the little cam footage, which is hilarious, but not if we're losing the ability to see the final product.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Had someone been eliminated, who do you think it would have been?
Ooh. I know that Caleb and Jacob were not feeling their build the same way that Steven and I were not feeling our build last episode. So I feel like they were probably in the hot seat just by their own estimation of their work. But Natalie and Michelle were having trouble getting their stuff synced up as they got it up there.
Oh, there was
And
a question
based on the-
earlier. Go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead and finish up, but I got a follow-up question.
Yeah, and then so based on the critiques from the judges, I think they actually did really enjoy Zach and Wayne's build. I don't think they would have gone home. It would have been between Natalie, Michelle, or Caleb and Jacob at that point, I think. But it was actually pretty close. They both did a great job bringing their builds together at the end. So it wasn't like, oh, obviously this person's going home. It's like, oh, I don't know, whatever the judges pick. So.
That quick, forgot what I was going to say. Thanks.
Sorry, Julian.
Long-winded.
You know what? And I wonder if maybe it was a last-minute decision on their part to not send anybody home because there was not a clear, definitive last place, and they thought, well, let's give it one more week to see if the next challenge,
breaks people.
Yeah.
You might have a point because it was pretty tight there.
Because it was close. Because I mean, it was a question. I mean, I said this before that I thought Natalie and Michelle were probably the most likely to go home unless Caleb and Jacob boned it, and they were both kind of neck and neck. And so it was like, let's keep them around for one more week and see who really needs to go home.
Yeah.
So
all I would have known is if I could have used the golden brick and then had somebody get eliminated this episode, I would feel a lot better going into the next, in theory, too, without being eliminated. So it's put me and Steven in a less advantageous position, despite having won and having had to use the golden brick. So
Yeah, but still, though, that's bullshit because next week is basically your guys' playground.
That's
So,
true.
like, why the fuck are you nervous? Like, you gotta build a castle.
Lego Masters.
We didn't know that though when they had
Build
to
it
turn the
sideways.
It's gotta hang out the side of the. Well, Jillian doesn't know.
And you guys didn't know what the next challenge was when you turned in the golden brick anyway. So
no,
that wasn't until we actually know sooner than you did because we're finishing off an episode and they gave us a teaser. You guys had to wait till the next day when you came in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in that sense, yes.
Yeah. In a weird quasi-time, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey thing kind of sort of way. So, yeah.
I heard that you and Will Arnett are best of friends now. Like, call each other on weekends. You want to hang out, drink some beers maybe, and
have
practice
picnics.
some stand-up and,
Talking about Lego Batman 2.
Talking about, Arrested Development and, sharing
Millers.
mayonnaise and mustard sandwiches.
I mean, no, but
I kind of got that feeling when I made a similar joke to Boone. He's like, no. So
everybody, this is
I think we got along better with Will Arnett as the season went on. But at first we didn't know what we were doing, and we had no connection whatsoever. Now it's like we at least have some things we're laughing about, so we're able to converse with him. But he's still on a completely different humor level than we are. So we're just like,
On a level where you guys have it, he doesn't. Oh, right.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think he's on his own plane of stand-up.
So you didn't try to throw in the money's in the banana stand kind of thing or anything like that?
Actually, I'm pretty sure Lauren and Brian were huge Arrested Development fans, and so they were constantly bringing that up. But as you can see, none of that made the cut. So I think it's just copyright.
Oh yeah.
One of y'all needed to build a banana stand.
Would he laugh at Arrested Development references?
Yeah, I think he enjoyed it. But that being said, Steve and I we haven't gotten into that show yet, so we wouldn't have brought it up. It wasn't at our table at all. So yeah. I wanted to bring up the fact that he was in Ninja Turtles, but I don't know if he would like that. So
You're going home right now.
I mean, a paycheck's a paycheck.
Exactly.
$10 is $10.
Take a shot in the mouth and halfway across the country.
Mark, have you gotten legitimate in-your-face hate vis-a-vis the internet?
Not to my face, but
I know what I'm saying via the keyboard warriors.
not personally on any of my accounts, thank goodness. But if you read Reddit, there's a lot of Zach and Wayne diehards. So
they're hell of builders.
I know, and I completely understand their reasoning. So, but
but to be so I'm gonna be a dickhead. So to be fair about Zach and Wayne, when they showed up to Brick Rodeo, it was the same shit that they always showed up with to every other thing. So it was like, way to call it in, assholes. Way to call it in.
I don't know about that. I really enjoyed seeing their things for the first time.
Sure, yeah, I get it.
But yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure they're really nice people, and I'm sure they're wonderful human beings. But, like, I don't see what the big fucking deal is about them.
Well, I don't want to call any sort of prophecy or any sort of foreshadowing and this, that, and the other, but if you were to win a show, you're probably going to go big when you go places. You're probably going to go and say, I don't know, make something really cool to show off how well you've done on something. But then if you maybe say you didn't win the show,
Mark, just turn your camera off.
Phone it in.
Turn your camera off, Mark.
so maybe the fact that Zach and Wayne phoned it in was because maybe they were a little bitter that they didn't win. Thoughts, Jeff? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same as pulling up in a 2020 Sonata outside of a hotel, and me and Julian looking at each other and going, huh, new car, eh?
Are you talking about the 300?
Rental, but whatever.
You call it what you want, buddy. We know.
So that's all we're going to talk about. That. Let's go ahead and talk about something else now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hey, buddy. I can see why you don't return any of my messages.
We got 6 more minutes to make this at least entertaining.
It is entertaining.
You got 6 more minutes to have Mark sued for a breach of.
No. Realize Mark has not said anything. He has just been sitting there with his tight-lipped smile, not confirming nor denying. He is playing the perfect Ollie North in this scenario.
Silently agreeing with the foul-mouthed fat guy.
Yeah, well, and and the guy who's got a fairly receding hairline and who's calling out prophecies of things that may or may not happen. It's all conjecture at this point in time.
Well,
No, he's sitting there thinking, if he won, that he's going to have to endure a lifetime of this. Like these fanboys coming up and like telling him stuff.
Well, I mean,
actually, you know what? That's a very valid point because, as you know, I've known Mark and Steven for a while, and we're cool. We hang, we talk. Well, we were talking about rare parts the other day, just like 2 regular old AFOLs just shooting the chaw. But next time, I'm going to totally be squeeing and fangirling and fanboying out on you, wanting you to sign like a certain body part or something like that. It's going to totally change our relationship.
You know what I could do? The next time that I'm in Atlanta and we go to ABS, I could pretend like I did once in high school that I was a mentally challenged behavioral health handy-capable person and come and give Mark a big old hug like I did Mickey Mouse in Toontown. I heard bones pop.
It'll be awkward.
This went dark really fast.
But I'll allow it.
Yeah. It'll be awkward, but someone will enjoy it.
For sure.
Not saying who, but someone.
My coworkers will enjoy it the most.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, by the way, speaking of which, you're not going to be like completely weirded out if I show up sometime and dressed as in a giant Halloween costume as a child's Nexonite costume. Just saying. Just curious. Just feeling that out.
He's looking mighty uncomfortable.
Hey, Dana, I challenge you to do a true-on foam cosplay Nexonite suit.
Out of cardboard.
Well, cardboard probably might be more entertaining, but I like the challenge of doing it with EVA foam because then it would be legit.
No. If you really want to get his goat, make the Nexonite outfit out of the duct tape stuff like they used to do when they were kids. Make the duct tape LARP Nexonite.
On Facebook, there's this cool feature. It says you can snooze somebody for 30 days. I might have to pull that one out.
The only problem is everybody knows where you work.
We're still friends, but I won't see any of that. So
yeah, but I guarantee from the reaction that I got from your coworkers when I had you and Steven sign that Nexonite's book, that they would be posting pictures of it for me, and you would have to block like 30 people.
Yes. No, they enjoyed it. They all do the same at work. They'll bug me about Nixonites. If there's something Nixonites, they'll be like, "Hey, Mark, did you get some Nixonites? What up, bio?" I'm like, throw them in the trash can. I don't want.
I think Mark should. I think in the same breath, though, Mark needs to do a Nexo Night mock now for the next show. Maybe just just 48 by 48, something. Just do it up. I mean, don't put any real effort into it. Maybe just build a set, put it on a plate. So I don't know.
You should have a Nexo Night like castle all destroyed and burnt, like it's been destroyed, with much violence and.
I either do it really, really crappy, like a horrible mock and like Nexonites, or I do a really good mock that is utterly destroyed by something better. So I don't know.
I got an idea. I think I'm going to show up the next time I see you. I might show up with a shirt for you that says, "I was on Lego Masters and all I got was this stupid Nexo Night T-shirt."
I'd still wear it, but I would be less happy about the Nexonite part of that.
I know. Yeah. Whatever. Let's go. Let's call it a day. Mark, thanks for being our whooping boy.
Oh yes, anytime.
Yeah. Sorry for cursing, Julian.
And the Lego Masters post show copyright right here. Thanks for coming. And remember, you got to love those bricks. Bye, everybody.